Okay, I wanted to give y'all an informative speech over the history of linguistics. It's estimated that there are about 7,000 languages in the world. 800 of these languages are spoken in inhabited tribal groups in Papua New Guinea. So 800 of these languages are in one region, and they're not spoken anywhere else. It is the most linguistic diverse place in the world. 25% of the world's population speaks some form of English. There's 2,400 languages are considered endangered, and 231 are actually extinct now. It is estimated that language dies every 2 weeks. The UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights has been published in 300 different languages, making it the most translated document. The 6 official languages of the UN are Arabic, French, English, Chinese, Russian, and Spanish. The Bible or sections of it is available in 2,454 languages. In the book Cultural Anthropology, The Human Challenge, published in 2011, William Haviland, Harold Prius, Bunny McBride, and Dana Walrasky said the central and most highly developed human system of communication is language. Knowledge of the workings of the language is essential to full understanding of what culture is about and how it operates. Anthropology happens to be my favorite subject. I have, on my own time, done a lot of studying about it, and the part that I find most interesting is linguistics, because it's how everybody communicates. It's how the world works. If we couldn't communicate, then we would have nothing. We wouldn't be where we are now. I have found that for me to truly understand another culture, that I first must understand the linguistics of their native culture. According to the Cultural Anthropology Human Challenge, says that language is a means of transmitting information and allows us to translate our concerns, beliefs, perceptions using symbols or sounds that can be interpreted and understood by others. Linguistics is the modern science study of all aspects of language. First, I want to go over whether or not the term applies to humans. Second, or just to humans. Second, I'd like to discuss 3 areas of linguistics within anthropology. Third, I'd like to talk about how language has evolved through time and why so many have disappeared. And finally, I'll go over how language is more than just words. Now that I've discussed what language is, I'll talk about the areas of linguistics within anthropology. According to www.linguisticsociety.org, it is the official website for the Linguistic Society of America, and on April 15, 2013, they stated that linguistics, in a nutshell, is the scientific study of language. Cultural Anthropology, the Human Challenge, says that 3 branches of the language study in anthropology are descriptive linguistics, historical linguistics, and a 3rd branch that focuses on language in relation to social and cultural settings. Descriptive linguistics mark out and explain the features of a language at a particular time in its history. Their work includes phonology, the study of the language sound patterns, and investigation of grammar, all rules concerning morphophones, the small units of the meaningful combinations of sound, and syntax, the principle according to which the phrase and sentences are built. Historical linguistics investigates relationships between early and later forms of the same language, including identifying the force behind the change that have taken place in the language. In the course of linguistics divergence, their work provides a means of roughly dating certain migrations, invasions, and people's intercultural interactions. The 3rd area of linguistics anthropology is the study of language as it relates to society and culture. Research areas known as sociolinguistics and ethnolinguistics. Sociolinguistics studies the relationship between language and society and examines how social categories such as age, gender, ethnicity, religion, occupation, and class influence the use and significance of distinctive styles of speech. Ethnolinguistics studies the dynamic relationship between language and culture and how they mutually influence and inform each other. Now that we've discussed language in its areas, let's take a look at how language has evolved and why so many have disappeared. All languages change, borrowing terms from other languages or inventing new words for new technologies or social realities. A major cause of language change in the domination of one society over another, which over the last 500 years led to the disappearance of about half of the world's 12,000 languages. A reaction to this loss and to the current far-reaching spreads and dominions of the English language is the linguistic nationalism, purging foreign terms from a language vocabulary and pressing for the revitalization of lost or threatened language. Many of the world's languages have become extinct as a result of warfare, epidemic, and forced assimilation brought on by colonial powers and other aggressive outsiders. Other than the dominant language in the world today, only very few people speak the remaining languages, and many of them are losing speakers rapidly due to globalization. A social dialect is the language of a group of people within a larger one, all of whom speak more or less the same language. We have discussed what language is, the parts of studying the evolution and disappearance of language. I would also like to address that language is more than mere words. According to the cultural anthropology, the human challenge, the human language is embedded in a gesture call system inherited from our primate ancestors that served to key speech, providing the appropriate frame for interpreting linguistics form. The gesture component consists of facial expressions and body postures and motions that convey intended as well as subconscious messages. The study of such nonverbal signals in body language is known as kinesthetics. Proximetics is the study of how people perceive and use space. The call component of gesture call system is represented by paralanguage consisting of various voice qualities such as pitch and tempo, vocalization such as giggling or sighing. About 70% of the world's languages are tonal, in which the music pitch of a spoken word is an essential part of the pronunciation and meaning of the word. Long before the telecommunication systems of the 19th and 20th century, people found ways to expand their acoustic range, including through talking drums and whistled speech. Today, I first discussed what language is and whether or not the term only applies to humans. Second, I discussed the three different areas of linguistics and anthropology. Third, I talked about how language has evolved through time and why so many have disappeared. Finally, I went over how language is more than just words. The central and most highly developed human system of communication is language. Knowledge of the workings of language is essential to full understanding of what culture is about and how it operates. In the study of language, we are able to better understand cultures and help date and prove their existence. Linguistics is a vital piece to the study of anthropology. I believe it is the most valued area of study within anthropology. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You are welcome.